Most comedians spend years attempting to make it big on the comedy circuit. Hey, Jen.
Yes. Yes, she says bitterly.
But our first guest, who critics have described as a young comedy prodigy, managed to get his break at the tender age of just 19. Still only 24.
Yeah, he'll burn out.
Yeah. He's proving that he can compete with the big boys in the world of comedy, so much so that he's now hosting Channel 4's latest Saturday night comedy stand-up show. Oh, please welcome Kevin Bridges.
Good, she cut the punchline. We missed the funny bit.
Oh, what was the funny bit?
Fill us in. Are you loud?
I hope there's a funny bit coming up. I'm pretty sure I said something funny at the end of
that was quite funny.
Oh, cheers, Lisa. Cheers. I thought it was...
I thought it was all right.
No, a bit of feedback appreciated, Jenny.
So you get funny.
I'm more experienced.
You get funnier than that.
It gets much funnier. You need to tune in on Saturday at 10:20. So there we go. Job done. It's been a pleasure. So...
You're back on the show, but not in the role that you were last time. You're taking over as host of this series.
Promoted.
Yeah, you've been promoted.
I was the sports correspondent the last series. The idea was England were in the World Cup, so get a Scottish guy who come on and laugh at England every week. And then England get knocked out after 2 weeks in a 6-week series, so there was nothing left for me to do in the last 4 weeks. So they just changed me to general sport, and it was just...
So what's happened to the show? Apparently you've removed all the celebrities from it. Is that right? Is that...
I've de-celebrated it.
Have you cleansed it?
I've cleansed it. No, we used to have a thing, we'd get somebody, a celebrity, come on in the chair, and then you'd go in and roast them, that American thing.
Yeah.
It's just... But it'd be good if we could actually get celebrities, but it was just people like Chico and stuff like that. It's like... It would be pretty good if it was like Tom Cruise sitting there or something like that, but it was hardly like, it just failed Big Brother people.
The stand-up of the week, is it being done in a TV studio audience like this, or have you taken over a proper club? Are you doing it like a gig?
As you can see, they're mental, the audience. We get loads of Camden type
Are they
thing.
drunk? Are they allowed to drink?
You ask a question and just go, yeah!
Is it the same place every week?
Same place.
Right, so you don't go around the country and get different reactions from different people?
No, just in Camden.
Do you go down well everywhere around the country? When you do your stand-up?
No, I don't.
Well, wait, yesterday we had this conversation with Paul O'Grady and Cilla Black because there was a poll released yesterday by comedians. Stand-ups had said that the hardest crowds to play to and get a laugh out of were the Scouse audience, followed by Glaswegians. Would your findings tally up with that, you two?
Oh, you're all right in Glasgow. It's sort of home territory for you.
But then there's pressure in Glasgow.
Oh, do you crack?
Because if you die in Glasgow, you need to see them the next day in the street. You know, your mum and dad are there on your film. Who took the poll? Who did they ask?
Oh, who?
A load of stand-ups.
Rab Nesbitt and...
So Liverpool's the toughest gig, apparently?
Apparently, because the Scouse audiences think that they're funnier than the acts they've been paid to see.
All right. That's a bit of a stereotype, isn't it? You walk on, this is full of people in perms and moustaches. I'm funnier than you. No, I didn't really find that at all.
The Glasgow Empire apparently is legendary as a place to play, and everybody's died there, some of the greatest comics. Have you played there?
No, because it closed down before I was born. So, I've never died there. I've never had a...
You're showing your age, babe.
Yes, exactly.
I've never had a bad gig in the Glasgow Empire.
I think
he's done very well.
I'm the only comic.
He's done very well.
It was made famous because Des O'Connor pretended to faint. I think that's what he did.
I know I look about 45, but I'm actually 24.
Kevin.
The Comedy Store,
You did go down... You've kind of broken records back home in Glasgow because you've had one of the fastest-selling comedy DVDs live in Glasgow, is that right?
Yeah.
300,000 copies?
300,000 copies.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a lot. You're a bit worried about peaking too early.
I think that's...
You're only 24, all right? Yeah. I mean, look at her, she's still going.
Way is down. I'm quite amazed.
I'm worried now that you've mentioned it.
You are quite a mature comic for your age, and what I admire, I've done some spying and snooping, is that you don't go down that art school route, you know, where you sort of try and be a bit fey and weird and all that kind of thing. You do jokes.
Yeah, exactly. I do stuff that actually happens. I think that's every story I tell is based on my own life or something I've experienced. You get some comics come on and like, oh, I remember I seen a duck on a skateboard, can you imagine? Just stuff like that. No.
Yeah.
That's just an example. I've never actually seen anybody talk about having a duck on a skateboard.
You know these big, huge... I mean, you did the O2 Gala gig last year for Comedy Gala Live, and you're back doing it again next month, aren't you?
Yeah.
At the O2. Huge crowds, a huge bill.
16,000, I think.
Yeah.
Those gigs don't really work, do they?
She said because she hadn't been interested. But what I'm interested in, on a night like that, when you've got all these big acts, does it get really competitive between you comics?
Of course it
Yes.
does.
Surely.
Everyone's at the side rooting each other on.
I'd be greasing the stairs. I think there's a reason why I'm never invited to these gigs.
Is there still
It's
the
like-
top of the bill thing, where the most successful goes on last, kind of
Oh, that
thing?
used to
Like
be
they
the-
used to do at the Glasgow Empire.
Yeah. It used
Before it
to-
shut down
Before it shut down.
in 1904.
What they've done with the O2 Gala, they used to have the listings, but they've put them in alphabetical order. So I'm top of the bill, Bridget. So I don't know if it is alphabetical order, maybe it's
No,
just
it's
in
the
terms
best.
of superiority. But it's 16,000, they're easier gigs, because in front of 16,000, somebody's going to laugh.
Yeah. They tend to copy each other, don't they? If someone laughs, then everyone will laugh. So,
Exactly,
so if
and
someone does, you're all right.
Just put a few people planted about to clap and stuff
How
like
do you
that,
get
yeah.
around? How do you get from gig to gig? Do you have a driver like our Jenny, or do you drive yourself and can you park?
My tour manager actually reversed his car into a door, into a house. I don't know if you've seen that in the show.
Was it that? The way the
Was it a
paper-
door?
Was that your 90-year-old tour manager?
Was that a door or what did he do? He crashed his car into a house or something?
He drove through the garage
into
door
his garage.
into his
I
house.
don't know if you've seen me in the green room. I was hardly paying attention. I was just... There's a monitor above the camera and I was sitting watching the show. I was going, oh, this woman's starting. Then my face just flashes up. So I looked kind of stunned at the start of the show. I was kind of in a
It
trance.
affects
Did you
lots
see
of
me?
men like
So-
that.
Did you always want to be a stand-up comic? How did you end up doing this?
I think I was about 16 and I'd read Frank Skinner's autobiography and just seen I had loads in common with him, like always the funny guy in school that always got into trouble,
Yeah.
but had a bit of your brain and stuff like that.
It's a hard job, though, isn't it?
Well, it depends how good you are at it.
Longevity and all
It's
that.
a tough job if you're not funny. I think stand-up comedy is. So I just gave it a go one night. I was 17. I'd emailed when I was 16 asking for a spot,
Right.
and then they got back to me about 3 months later, and I'd totally forgot I'd even asked for a spot. I
That
was like,
teacher.
stand-up comedy. All right, fair enough. I'll book me in for that. Gave it a go for 5 minutes, and it went well. Then they phoned the next day, send you another spot, and then that was it.
Wow.
Wow,
I think
look,
I've
look
had-
how well it's served you. And you're going to be on tomorrow night, Channel 4. What time's the show on?
10:20.
Oh, we'll look
I've
forward
been
to
well
it.
briefed. It's week 6, so they've just moved us to a better spot.
Funny time.
Listen, come back and see us again,
10.
won't
It's
you?
hilarious time. That's what makes the show work.
Kevin Bridges,
It's the funniest
everyone.
time in the clock. Hi, cheers.